beginning with some of the best wishes, good thoughts for all of you. For those who I haven't met, I hope you didn't have too much of a volatile time past 2 years. I just want to speak to the other audience. Since I'm facing with several hundred Bhutanese, there will be a lot of Bhutanese reference, which I don't think maybe you should really worry about. So we are going to talk about Manjushri. And Jamyang in Turkey. You know, there are supposedly many bodhisattvas. There are 8 prominent bodhisattvas in the Mahayana tradition. For some reason, some of these bodhisattvas are more popular in some place than the other. But among them, some of them are kind of, you know, I don't know, maybe universally popular. Well, supposedly, for instance, I would say the most popular bodhisattva, revered, popular, known, is Avalokiteshvara, probably it has something to do with Avalokiteshvara belonging to what we call Padma family. Okay, probably I'm using too many of these jargon. So some of you who are very new may get a little tired, but please bear. Because we live in the desiring realm, supposedly this is, you know, the earth is a desire realm of all the emotion. Desire is the prominent. So the bodhisattvas that are kind of related to desire also, I guess, gets more mentioned and active. Avalokiteshvara, as you know, is everywhere. I mean, really popular, I have to say. I mean, India, China, Japan, so on and so forth. Then there are some bodhisattvas, like in Bhutan's case, some of the bodhisattvas hardly known, right? I don't know whether, I'm actually kind of puzzled why the Bhutanese are not so aware of Manjushri Nyingbo, for instance. On a very little information or icon or so on and so forth. But Sai Nyingbo in Sanskrit, Kishti Garba, very popular in Japan. Okay, then there is a Manjushri, quite popular. I don't know. Especially places like, you know, like the Himalayan region and then China. But like always, the principle of these figures like Manjushri, Avalokiteshvara, Sai Nyingbo, Kishti Garba, Akasha Garba, all these bodhisattvas, the principle of these, okay, sometimes we refer them as a bodhisattva, sometimes we also refer them as a yidam, since especially if you are a tantric inclined, like a Vajrayana inclined, which we in Bhutan, we are supposed to be, sort of following the Vajrayana tradition. So we also refer them as a yidam. Now, yidam many times, especially the modern Himalayans, because of their background, because of their education, because probably they went to Kalimpong to study, probably they went to Darjeeling, North Point, Dr. Grimes, so on and so forth. So somehow they ended up always referring these yidam or these bodhisattvas as gods, Buddhist gods, which is actually quite a big mistake. Hopefully we can clarify this today, this morning. But I can have a sympathy, by the way. I have a sympathy because many of these deities, they also appear as a, yes, you know, like a supernatural being, powerful, with all kinds of attributes, and all kinds of appearance. So there is a very good reason why people, you know, like, for instance, like a colonial people end up thinking this must be some Asian shamanist, you know, spirit or gods. They're whatever, God, equivalent to gods. But it's really complicated, actually. So I'm going to, let me introduce you Manjushri, first starting with a general audience. In this case, we need to talk about like very outer form of the Manjushri, okay? I use this example a lot. Like if you need to feed something like something edible, like I don't know, sip, right? Like corn to a small newly born baby. If you want to do that, you can't just force the, you know, corn. The baby will die. So what do? You know, like soften it, mash it, I don't know, mix with milk. I don't know, probably sugar is not a good idea. Anyway, you make it soluble. So you give it little by little. Now, same thing here. If I'm giving you the real Manjushri, sort of the raw, the real one, it's like unsoluble. It's like because we are like these babies who need a bit of a color, decoration, sweets, you know, dressing. Basically, dressing is such a good word. We need to dress the Manjushri. So in order to dress the Manjushri, there are lots and lots of legends. And some of the legends are like far out, incredible. Like the Manjushri legends are like, some of them are, you know, as good as you are watching like a Star Wars. But beautiful, by the way. And this is a great thing about Buddhist sutras. Even though some of these legends sound like very like a fairy tales, actually, it does have a lot of, you know, inner meaning. This is something what the West, especially colonial, they never really understood. For instance, like I mean, this is not the right time, but probably like a Mahabharata in the Indian tradition. It's actually a very, very profound story. It's very symbolic and it's really profound. But when you read it, you know, at glance, it's just like a fairy tale. It's like impossible, mind-boggling, completely like a fairy tale. But if you go through it, actually, it's really, really, really profound. Similar here. So I'm just going to give you some legend so that we got set up, okay? But before that, let me just tell you, somehow we human beings, audience, the students, the followers, the audience, the human beings also end up always categorize these deities as a specific deity. For instance, if the Bhutanese wish to have more money, hardly you will pray to Manjushri, would you? is the Zambala. It's something like a, right? Hamonor Junma. You will not pray to Manjushri. They will think you are stupid, but it's not true, actually. So Manjushri is always associated with wisdom, intellect, memory, heart, quick thinking, wit. Therefore, I believe, there's been a lot of questions here. I believe that in the Bhutanese school, there is practice of invoking the Manjushri in the morning. So Manjushri is known for being associated with the wisdom. Avalokiteshvara somehow associated with compassion, but that does not mean Avalokiteshvara is kind of slow-witted. Zambala, of course, doesn't mean that Zambala definitely is slow-witted or, So